Thanks, Morgan. The Conestoga Huts will receive their first reading tonight after coming to the Planning Commission back in June, alongside the public hearing. Previous committee meetings have sparked support and backlash. While the races for council are still up in the air, the levies are still yet to be determined. While levies have enjoyed popular support in years past, an income tax levy this spring failed. Council members said it was due to a lack of information and understanding from the public due to a low turnout. Yeah, thanks, Serenity. Maud Collins was the first sheriff, or the first female sheriff in the history of Benton County and the state of Ohio, and now she's forever a part of their history. Morgan, inside City Council, the public and members of council have divided over the issue after Athens City Council passed an ordinance allowing for the huts to be placed on North Congress at the gathering place. It declined to pass an ordinance that would allow for huts to be placed in R3 and B3 zones across the city. However, Athens Law Director Lisa Eliason warned the city that they could be opened up to a lawsuit if they did not pass this ordinance under the grounds that it could be spot zoning. Thomas Hayes had 2 days to decide whether he would fly across the world to join the Freedom Flotilla. It wasn't a hard decision.
What then must I do? What then must I do? And when this opportunity, it presented itself to me on the 24th, and I needed to be in Trento, Italy by the 26th, so I just blew out the door.
Hayes trained with other journalists and medical professionals for the journey and abduction they could face on the way to Gaza. This was Hayes' second voyage with the Freedom Flotilla, joining them earlier this year. Hayes and the group believed they would be stopped the next night, but as reported by the BBC, their ship was intercepted a night early in international waters.
We were all chanting, "We are journalists, we are medics, we are journalists, we are medics," until they shoved their guns in our faces and told us to shut up.
According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, journalists and medical professionals testified to being beaten and threatened by Israeli forces.
Then they would basically lift them and then shove their heads down and frog march them as fast as they could go into a holding pen.
From there, according to the human rights group Adala, they were taken to Keziat prison. There, Hayes and others claim Israel prevented detainees from accessing medicine, and they were subject to inhumane conditions.
Eventually, I was denied my medication. I'm 70 years old. 70-year-old people need their medication. There were diabetics among us who were also denied their medication. But this is nothing compared to what Palestinian prisoners. Keziat is a notorious prison.
In a statement on their website, the Israeli Foreign Ministry called claims of mistreatment brazen lies and said all detainees' legal rights were fully upheld. After receiving legal representation, Hayes and others were released and flown to Turkey. And as the ceasefire was announced this week, Hayes stressed the importance of providing aid to Gazans at risk.
Look, winter is closing in. If the world, the globe, doesn't respond on the level of the Berlin airlift or the Marshall Plan right now, open all of the crossings, repave the Gaza airstrip, open a maritime humanitarian corridor, which was what we were trying to accomplish, I doubt a single Palestinian infant will survive this winter. Winter is coming, and they have no shelter.
Reporting in Athens, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. The Bloom Carroll Bulldogs came to Alumni Stadium looking to avenge their last game on the Rangers field, but the Rangers got things underway on senior night. First Rangers drive, Lucas King looking for Javon McBride in the end zone, and you can't do that. Pass interference puts Hamilton Township on the goal line, and Kal-El Beverly Aiken punches it into the end zone. Plays later, bruising his way through the teeth of the Bulldogs defense. Rangers ahead 7-0 after one drive. But he wasn't the only back ready to deliver some haymakers. Kyson Klein met in the backfield and shedding every Ranger to earn a gutsy first down. And a play later, Aiden Scholes hammering through contact, getting outside the tackles, and somersaulting into the end zone, and we're all tied up. A few drives later, Scholes again smashes through the center of the defense before leveling one more defender for 6. Bloom, 14-7. While he might be called Kal-El, he was Bloom's kryptonite. Beverly Aiken gets to the outside and bounces off of one defender and lets them know. Hamilton Township ties it up out of the break, but they couldn't keep it up. Klein was tired of jabs, and he was ready to land the knockout blow. He sheds 3 Rangers before breaking out for a 58-yard touchdown run. The Bulldogs secure a conference share for the 8th consecutive season, winning 28-17. Now, Millersport enters the fray, and with all these narrow wins, the conference is wide open in 2025. The Bishops head out to Lancaster, and the Falcons defend home field against reigning conference champions Grove City Christian, while the Lakers host the Rockets. And we'll see all three.
I mean, talk about high scoring, yet another tough matchup for the Aces.
Yeah, they have been up against it, and those injuries, they did them no favors, but they had a new look which helped them stay competitive tonight.
Yeah, you saw a lot of speed option plays tonight. How did that open up the offense?
Yeah, gotta give a lot of credit tonight to Coach Som. No RB2 or RB3, and this look helped them avoid a loaded box. Tommy Sy got downhill. A lot of credit to Carter Madison, too, who helped facilitate this. And this was their most explosive plays of the night. And, yeah, it was just an impressive performance despite everything they were facing.
Definitely.
But, yeah, like I said, it was an impressive showing, but they just couldn't keep pace with the Rangers ultimately.
Yeah, you mentioned those injuries, but by looking at the score, it seemed to show in the Aces secondary a little bit who Lucas King seemed to expose tonight. He was really the engine for that offense.
Yeah, he was hitting all his targets. McBride, Packnett, Beverly Aiken, no Bodie Martin, and Nick Holland hurts the Aces a lot. I mean, they were just picking apart that weakened secondary tonight, and he was hitting all levels of the field, making smart decisions, not forcing that deep ball, though it was excellent tonight.
Yeah, so after 3 weeks of conference play, it looks like there's a familiar face at the top of the standings.
Yeah, you got to circle Week 9, Donovan. Bloom Carroll at Hamilton Township. That is going to be a great game. Circleville's had an impressive start, but they lost to a healthy Aces team, and that's going to hurt them a little bit. Amanda's still in a good spot to finish 6-4, and there's some teams vying at the bottom of the conference to hang on to playoff life. But yeah, these conference races, they're coming down to the wire, and I just can't wait to see how it ends.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on how things wrap up the next few weeks. Thanks, Charlie.
Whether it was 1950 or 2025. Amesville and surrounding township residents have been able to count on their volunteer fire department. And for 75 years, the community has come together to support their department. The Amesville Firemen Festival began as a way to raise money for the department.
Started to raise money to buy some helmets and fire coats and operate the fire department off.
But over the years, it's been harder for the festival to completely support the department.
We make a little money, don't get us wrong, but it wouldn't fund our fire department with today's prices.
The job has become harder too. The department is already on pace for a record number of runs this year, something Fire Chief Brad Maxwell chalks up to their wide range of calls.
When we rescued the first proverbial cat in the tree, that opened us up to be called for everything.
And volunteer departments like Amesville find themselves responding to that increase in calls with less manpower. Between 1984 and 2020, the number of volunteer firefighters in the U.S. fell by 220,850, while the population grew by 95 million. In that same time period, the Amesburn Volunteer Fire Department saw its numbers fall from about 40 to 10. Adding to the pressure, smaller departments mean more mutual aid calls, stretching their ability to provide protection.
That's when you worry if you're out on a mutual aid call, did I leave enough guys at home to take care of my home area?
But despite these challenges, the department is still bringing the community together.
I feel like a lot of it is a family reunion type thing, because they don't live here, so they get to come back once a year and see their friends.
Witham was at the very first Fireman Festival, and both her son and father served in the department. Her son also served as fire chief. She said the department has connected generations of Amesville residents.
There's quite a conglomeration of men who have been fire chiefs, and a lot of them that's been just on the fire department, as volunteer. It's strictly volunteer.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld in Amesville.
Thanks, Josh. Athens City Council will vote on one Conestoga hut proposal, but not several proposed amendments presented during last night's council meeting. At last night's meeting, Councilmember Jessica Thomas proposed several amendments to the ordinance. Originally, the ordinance permitted Conestoga huts in B3 and R3 zones, but with Thomas's changes, it would limit the number of locations to 5 places in the city, limit the number of beds, and require a licensed outreach organization or faith-based group. But Alan Swank voted it down.
Kind of wide open. And as Mr. Smith, who is a resident of the Far East Side, put in a email to council, which was read either last time or the time before, rolling this out on a citywide basis through a zoning initiative, which this would be a change in, is perhaps not the right way to do it.
Every other council member present voted in favor of the amendments, but due to an absence, it failed to pass. Well, guys, Speaking of generosity, what are you guys getting people for Christmas this year?
I can't tell because someone might be watching. I can't spoil it.
Listen, Steve, I'll be the first one to spoil. I haven't bought anything yet. Okay, I really need.
I'm getting around it. I'm getting close.
Exactly. Like I don't want to feel pressure to shop yet. Look, I'm a clearance guy myself too. I got to find a lot of things on the clearance rack. Okay.
Well, I hope nobody out there hears that. So, if you're not going to tell us what you're going to get for Christmas, what's your favorite gift that you've gotten for Christmas?
You know, I used to play baseball, so I'd say a baseball mitt. That was my favorite.
Oh, sometimes the bat though.
That's
That would be a great feeling. You get a fresh new bat and you go to the batting cage in a week. I mean, that's just the best.
Yeah, that's the best
You know,
way to get a Christmas.
it's really starting to feel like Christmas out there.
Yeah.
And that's